Hello friends, we're back. Time to feed our worms. It's been about 10 days since our last feeding, and I've been thinking about what I want to do with the tiers, and I think our let's say our more original tier of this group here, I think, and we'll see what's in there today, but I think we might start the starvation window, so we'll start migrating to another bin. So we'll see. I'm kind of TBD on it. I wanted to get in and look at it a little bit more. So like I said, it's been about a week. I have my bag still full of shredded packing paper, shredded cardboard, all my Amazon boxes that make sense. I am sticking specifically with the frozen food still, just because after that whole gnat ordeal, I can't. I don't want to run the risk, and yeah, I'm just not feeling it. So, and well, we'll talk about it, but I was a little concerned about the moisture content last time. But looking at our top is definitely damp, so that's good. I was a little worried it was dry last time, so I think the frozen food's helping. I definitely can see a few guys on here, but what I'm seeing initially, which is really interesting, is this looks wet. And I'll bring you guys in so we can take a look at this. And this is tier 1. And so remember, last time we did feed them with the frozen food. And specifically, looking at my notes, it said that we fed them on this tier down the middle, which is why there's this cardboard here, because I think we were just covering that part. But I wanted to show you guys, like, look how many worms are hanging out on the outsides. Like, that's, I don't know if you can tell, there's quite a few lingering there. So I'm going to put you back down, and I'm going to just start slowly pulling back the middle, because it looks like it sunk down a little bit. So I know there was food, and now there's less food. Okay. So let me just show you guys so you see what I see. So it looks like some asparagus spears and blueberries are really all that's left. But there's quite the worm party.
I have a reminder for Alessandra.
Google needs me to remember something. Thanks, Google. I see some mites, but I definitely see a lot of worms, so I'm feeling good about that. That's exciting. Okay, cool. So I kind of want to feed this layer again, because I'm thinking we fed this side a few times, so maybe we'll feed this one a few times, and then we'll migrate over maybe next week when we do the feeding. But there's still plenty of friends here working on that food, so I want to give them a little bit more of something good. Now I have my salad container that has been in my chest freezer. Took it out earlier just to defrost a little bit, because frozen apple core, it's easier for me to pull pieces out of it, in my opinion, that way. So it's like slightly defrosted, but it's not a big deal if this like freezes and refreezes. So I think in here we'll have had about 2 full banana peels, the apple core. There's still some blueberries in there, but we'll put some more in just for funsies. And I think this is mostly bananas in here, unfortunately. So maybe 2.5 banana peels. I'll let that sit there for a minute. And then just so you guys can see, I know I try to show how full it is. This is about where it's at. And I did not shove that food in there real hard or anything. So I'm going to take our existing I don't know, it's food. Like, I always want to call it bedding, but I mean, it is bedding, but it's also food covering for them. And we're going to make like a nice snug little barrier for the bad guys that are gnats and whatnot. And I probably should have checked ahead of time, but just while we're here, I want to kind of poke under some of this bedding and see if anything food-wise obviously shows up. Oh, there is an avocado peel over here. Fairly uninviting right now in its current state, but nevertheless. All right, so not a lot over there, so that's probably good because they were finishing up that area last time, so I'm thinking there's probably not a lot in there. All right, so that was our tier 1, and I'm really glad that I put the label here with the permanent marker. I wish I would have done it sooner. It would have been easier to keep track of everything. Oh my gosh. Oh my god, I don't know if you guys can see that. Let me put this over here. Okay. First off, what is this? Growing flower? Mushroom, I'm assuming, of some sort. Obviously, the worms are enjoying it. I'm totally leaving that because I think that's hilarious. Now, last time, according to my notes, we fed tier 2 on the bottom right side. Oh gosh, there's a gnat. I just saw it. No. Do you see it, you guys? Okay, we're putting mosquito boots in just in case. Ugh, that's devastating. All right, well, hopefully it doesn't do anything stupid and reproduce. Anyways, right tier, or second tier right corner, where there's clearly a deficit, where I fed last. So just, it doesn't look like much here, but I'm going to just go ahead and check on this. Sorry, I panicked. I thought I saw something on here crawling around, but I think it was just the worm. Okay, so we're checking in here. I'll bring you guys in so you can see whilst I'm pulling up here. There's definitely worms. Not seeing a lot of food though, so that's good. Means there's enough guys here that can burn through this food. And this is the older of the 2 active tiers that I had been like super cautious about previously with the whole gnat situation. And I fed it, but I definitely didn't give it an excessive amount of food, or I didn't think I gave it an excessive amount of food. So it never, not that it didn't get fed, like it definitely got fed. It just didn't get the level of food that I think I normally would have put in. But there's a lot of guys in here. It's definitely looking closer to completion though. Like I'm not seeing as much of the obvious coconut core breaking. You know, like sometimes when you have like the new bins and you can tell where the coconut core is. Like I'm not seeing a lot of that. Like there is fibery strands still in here, but it's not a lot. So I'm kind of inclined to say leave these guys. Let them work on finishing up this bin. There's plenty of bedding in here still for them to munch on, and like just let them do their jam and see where they go with this, because I honestly think this is getting pretty full as it is, and I want to give them a lot of time to not starve them out, but like let them finish breaking this down. So I think we're gonna start the starvation on tier 2 here, you guys. It's pretty, I mean, like I don't have any active food in here. There is some bedding, you know, on the top, but not a lot. So I kind of feel like if I added food in, by the time I added the food and then I added the bedding, it would be too full, and I think it's time. And this one's been in here since I think October. Yeah, I think this is when I got set up, I think in October. So it's been about 3 months. It's the end of January now, beginning of February, I guess. So yeah, it's about time. I'm gonna put this down because I want to check on the other tiers that we started, because I obviously didn't feed them the last time we were getting updates on here. I showed you guys how I got them set up, and I just want to see if anybody migrated on their own. Oh yeah, this one's definitely getting heavy. And I kind of want to check the moisture content, truthfully, of both of the bins. So let me just Oh no, there's gnats down there. Okay. And things have escalated, people. Things have escalated. So, shoot, I don't know what to do. Let me think about this. Okay. We don't want more gnats, so what I think I'm going to do is, I don't know. I think I'm going to take this layer off, or let me just check really quick and see. I don't see anybody like on the top of this. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's anybody in here. So that's interesting. Okay, so this layer is fine. Tier 3 is fine. Yay, Tier 3. Okay, and then I know this is a little tricky here. Okay, new plan. I think I'm just gonna pick this whole tier up and take it outside as it is with the tier 4 on it and the cover on it, because I don't want things to be released into the house. So I think we're gonna do that. Whew, did that escalate quickly? So it was getting kind of windy out, and our neighbors were out. There was a lot of stuff going on, so I was like, let me just deal with this really quickly. I kind of got nervous because I was like, that's really weird that there were no worms, like literally not a single worm in that bottom area, but just the little gnats. So I'm going to go ahead and just sprinkle some of these in here. What's the worst that could happen? I think I'm also just, for now, going to, leave that as is. It was so odd, though, because the gnats that were in there, I think were, like, dying or on their way out, because they did not look healthy. They did not look like the ones that I had when I had, I guess we'll call it, like, more of an infestation situation. So I'm thinking they probably were dying and they just kind of got trapped down in there. There were some mites or some sort of really tiny little bugs in there. I don't know what they were. I just took the whole thing out, rinsed it real good. I left tier 4 covered outside, so hopefully nothing got in it. I'm just going to take the cover off really quick here and make sure tier 4 still looks good. Just looks like it got kind of shook around a little bit, which is totally true. That was on me. So I'm going to just leave tier 4, I think, as it is. There's nothing in it. There's no worms or anybody in here yet, which is good. I think it's good. The next in, we're going to put tier 3 back in. I want to make sure I'm putting them in the right way. So yeah. And then I found this little gnat sticker that only the top part must have gotten I don't know what the word is, uncovered with the sticker protector on it. So the bottom isn't sticky, just the top is. Anyways, I'm going to leave that in here. It had a few flies on it already from our last situation. So I was like, whatever. It can stay in here. Then I think the next tier that we need to put in is going to be tier 2. And this is the one that we're going to be starving out, letting them finish off. I feel like starving out sounds dramatic, don't you? It's a full bin, like no doubt about it. Like it's very full. I'm sure there's lots of material beyond what we can see with our naked eye. Just because I'm nervous, I'm going to go ahead and put this paper towel that I use to just kind of wipe up the floor around the bin. Obviously it's not covering all of it, but it's covering some of it. We're going to put that in there, and I think we're going to start starving that bin out. I think that's where we're at with this schedule. And then, I mean, you guys saw there wasn't a tremendous, like there wasn't not worms up here, but there wasn't nearly as many on this tier 1 right now. So I'm gonna leave, actually, you know what? I take that back. We're gonna go back to tier 2 just for a second. And I think it's just my fear of getting more of these guys. I'm just gonna sprinkle a little bit in here, just because I don't want to deal with that again. And then we're gonna have our tier 1, which is an active layer that we fed earlier. And I'm also going to put just a small sprinkling. My understanding from what people were saying was you could put these in the water and let them get dissolved and sprayed in here. But somebody was saying if you are keeping your bin a little bit moister, if you're on the wet side, go back in the worm. That, especially because you're, let's say, using the freezer food for them, if you put the mosquito dung bits in here, even though they haven't dissolved, they'll kind of do like a slow release with the moisture that they're in. And so when the larvae and stuff are in there, it won't be a problem. I don't know. It kind of made sense. I get where they're going with it. I had a similar thought of my own. So maybe it helps, maybe it doesn't. I am not gonna fuss too much about this one because I think it's okay. I'm going to cover it back up with our normal cover, obviously, that goes on it. And then that means that next time, maybe next week, whenever we do our next feeding, 10 days, that I will only have to take this top lid off to feed this tier because we'll be starving out tier 2. So I hope you guys are enjoying watching now that we have the labels. It's a little easier to keep track of like what we did when with the different tiers. So I think I'll set myself a reminder to check on the tier 2 somewhat regularly. Like maybe we'll do like a 2-week check-in. I don't know, because last time, obviously when I did the migration, I mean, obviously that's where things went south and we got gnats and God knows what other problems we had during that time that I didn't even notice. So I don't want to do it the same way I did last time, where immediately I'm like, okay, we're starting a new food layer right here. You guys obviously want to migrate up. Like, I'm trying to learn from my mistakes. So let me know how long you guys think we should do between the starving tier 2 check-ins and when we should start the next tier, which I guess would be tier 3's food, I guess. You know, I'm inclined to say, like, maybe let bin 2 starve out for like 2 months, and then I don't know, because like I think that we'll see. We'll do regular check-ins and we'll play it by ear, but a more educated ear this time around. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and actually recover this. I realize well, I guess it's okay. I'm a little I'm trying to be mindful, making sure like all the layers are covered because it is gonna get back into the 50s here in Florida shortly, so I want to make sure they stay nice and cozy in here, but I think they're okay. I also, not to be like super gross for those of you who aren't good with these things and are a little unsure about worms anyways, but just so we have a comparison for next time, I did wipe down the floor, the placemats, and my emergency drip tray here, just in case there were a few worms in between the dogs, like Moose literally eating right here. It got kind of just dirty in general, and there was like kibble and a few random worms that had made an escape. So right now, you can see it's clean. There's no worms that have escaped. So this will be a good indicator for me, either when it gets cold, when it gets warm again, or through the starvation process, if we have some guys making a run for it that we need to check on it and figure out what we can do to make it more hospitable for them, because we don't want them to run or wiggle, whatever the verb is for worms. So, whew, what a check-in. Thanks you guys for sticking around. It's been almost a year since I've been vermicomposting, and I've really enjoyed the process, and I'm thinking about doing like a 1 year what I learned video. So if that's something that intrigues you or you would find helpful, let me know, because I'm starting to get my thoughts together on that and would love some input. All right, guys, until next time, worms say goodbye, I say goodbye. Have a good day.